A what? Chef Master John making that delicious curry. Hi, Mooch.
Hi guys, PineappleRetro here. I know it's been a long time since I posted a YouTube video, but a lot has changed over the years. I met someone wonderful, we started dating, and now we live together, which means new game room. But part of the reason I am filming this video is I recently did a charity stream last month for the National Children's Alliance Gonna Grow Fast campaign, and one of my incentives for my community to hit was a brand new game room tour. So, follow me. Alright guys.
Sorry.
Alright guys, so we're going to start off in my living room. This is the first part of the collection. I think you guys remember my last game room tour. Everything was kind of together in one space, but now that I have two floors, everything's kind of split up a bit. So we'll start off at the top. I got some box consoles up here. Not the cleanest, but I'm starting to run out of space, and fortunately this is the best way I'll be able to display them all. So you can see I got some Wii boxes right there. If you're wondering what that longer one is in the back, it's a special Costco variant. It has like a Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort bundle together. This is an N64, one of my newest box consoles I have. We got my Switch, and then finally the very first box console I ever got game collecting, my Sega Genesis Model 2. Next to that we have a Halo green Xbox. That was a Goodwill find, believe it or not, from back in the day. We have the box for my PS4 Pro, and then finally all the way here in the corner we have my NES Power Set. So going down to the first shelf, we have a plush of Shantae. I love Shantae. That was a gift for my girlfriend. And then you'll start to see I kind of have what I call overflow. So basically, some of my more favorite titles that I enjoy playing a lot and pull out a lot, I have upstairs in the streaming room. But this is kind of the overflow stuff. So you'll see I have a lot of like loose Genesis carts right here, like Jungle Strike, for example. And there's Genesis games behind this, as well as my overflow of GameCube games. So nothing too crazy, but you know, there's some cool stuff like Donkey Konga, for example. Great rhythm game. I'm just not very good at it. Kind of hurts my hands after a while. So going down to the next, oh, well, I fell over. Oh well. Going down to the next shelf, I have my overflow of NES games, as well as Super Nintendo, and a majority of my N64 collection. Some good games to highlight from the N64. We got Paper Mario. We also have Mario Kart 64 and Zelda Ocarina of Time. And what makes this copy so special, this is my original childhood copy that I grew up playing. Super, super cool. I think it's really fascinating when you're able to keep some of those childhood games in the set. I'll give you guys a close-up here of some of the Super Nintendo titles I have. I got some good stuff like Turtles in Time and Mario All-Stars. Going down to the next shelf, we got the Wii. You guys can kind of see what I'm talking about here with overflow issues. So this is double stacked in the back, and then I have a row in the front, and I even got some newer titles that I just got recently that I have no room for that's on top. Not the most ideal. It's the best I can do for right now until I can figure out a better storage solution. I guess some cool highlights. Some of my favorite titles, you got Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, you got Target Terror. It's a really goofy arcade game. Highly recommend looking that up, it's pretty funny. You got all the Kirby titles, Paper Mario, Mario Party, Fire Emblem's a great one, Resident Evil. I'm a big SNK guy, so I have like most of the anthologies for the Wii. And then we even got some horror titles at the end here, like The Calling, and some shoot 'em ups too, like Castle Shikigami. I apologize that the filming's a little rough here, but I kind of have to get super low for this. This is my 360 collection. My entire 360 collection is down here. Love the 360. I grew up with it. I spent a lot of my gaming as a teenager on this console playing Xbox Live for Halo 3 and Call of Duty. Some highlight stuff over here. Raiden 4 is good. The Kai Katana. Death Smiles is a wonderful cave shooter. Typical stuff, Persona, Halo, Wolfenstein. All really fun stuff. And then finally, all the way at the bottom here, we have my original Xbox collection. I don't really have a big Xbox collection, if I'm being honest. Not particularly one of my favorite systems to play on, but I do appreciate it for what it did, especially when Sega bit the dust after Dreamcast. They fully endorse the Xbox. Some highlights over here. We got Metal Slug, Panzer Dragoon, Conkers, Live and Reloaded. All right, we're gonna go back up. I'm gonna take you guys back to the top. So up here, we have a box for a Super Nintendo Junior, and then also some toys that I enjoy, like I have some Godzilla plush. Here's an original Gundam Wing jumbo figure, and then up top here, big Godzilla poster. Okay guys, moving on to the next shelf, we have our DVD collection. Me and my partner, we recently have been deciding to go and get our favorite shows on DVD because we're just not really happy with how streaming services are taking a lot of stuff off that we enjoy watching. But let's start talking about what we got up here. So we got a box for a Super Nintendo Junior. I don't really own a Super Nintendo Junior anymore, but I kept the box for some reason. I don't know why. We got some plushes up here, a little Pikachu toy, sealed yarn Yoshi amiibo, Mario Kart Happy Meal box, because why not? Here's one of my favorite pieces. I got an original Gundam Wing jumbo toy. It transforms into quote-unquote bird mode. I don't know if that's what I call a bird, but you know, whatever. Just generally a lot of DVDs, some of our favorite shows like Pokemon, Ghost Adventures, Digimon. We got some anime, some more little figures down here. We do have some VHS as well. I do enjoy having a VHS just for nostalgia's sake, but I currently don't have a working VHS player. It's on the list. Alright guys, moving on to the next shelf. I know it's going to be a little hard to see, but up top I have a box Super Nintendo. The bottom of that is a box Zelda Wii U. Next to that we have a Japanese Sega Pico. And if you're thinking to yourself, Piney, what the hell is a Pico? It's basically a child education system, I guess is the proper term. But this is the Japanese model. I found it at a thrift store out here for $5. How did it get out here? I do not know, but there it is. And then up top is just like one of the lunar puppets that you guys have pre-order bonus from back in the day. Here is the Wii U shelf. I enjoyed the Wii U. I'm glad to see that more people are kind of taking the Wii U into account for what it did. It didn't actually have the best run from Nintendo, but you can definitely see the influence that it did for the Switch. Some of my more expensive titles are over here. We got Turbo and Xenoblade and Funky Barn. But overall, great system. Definitely check out Wii U if you've been sleeping on that. Going down to the next shelf, we have my PSP games. I don't have too many. It is double stacked. I know you're probably thinking, that's crazy, how are you gonna get them out? But I really don't play my PSP as much as I used to. I'm trying to get back into it right now, but we got some good titles in there, like Fate Extra, Crow Lancer, and all that good stuff. Moving over, we have my PS4 collection. Not the biggest, but I do love my PS4. And I got some special editions like Senran Kagura. There's some good stuff in there. Some of my particular favorites, Catherine Full Body, great game. The Hyperdimension Neptunia games. We even got like Spider-Man and Persona 5. Alright, going down to the next shelf. Once again, I apologize if the filming's a little shaky here, but this is pretty low to the ground. And I'm a tall dude. But anyways, this is going to be the PS3 set. PS3 is a great console. I do enjoy playing it. It's just really hard to stream from it. So I don't typically showcase a lot of PS3 games on Twitch. But I do enjoy the console for what it is. Some great games in here. Last of Us, we got Journey, Alice Madness Returns, Katamari, the Neptunia games, Project Diva games from Hatsune Miku are some of my favorites. Great music rhythm games, highly recommend. If I had to pick an expensive title out of this shelf, it'd probably be this one right here, Splatterhouse. There's actually an old video on my channel of me getting this from the flea market. I believe I paid like $10 or something. And then finally at the end here, we have a sealed PS3 controller, another thrift store find for back in the day. Finally, this is another overflow section. So you know earlier I was talking about the GameCube overflow and the Genesis overflow. This is my PS2 overflow. Doesn't mean there isn't good games in here, it's just that I don't really have a lot of space upstairs in the streaming room, so this is where I put everything else. Ed and Eddie is surprisingly a really fun game. You'd think it'd be shovelware, but I really enjoy it. You got stuff like Time Crisis, Silent Scope. That Looney Tunes Acme Arsenal is a lot better than you expect it to be. And then finally on the bottom here, we have the controller for Beatmania. Really fun rhythm game. It doesn't have the best track list in the American version. We only got one of them out here, but if you ever see this in the arcade, highly recommend giving it a go. It's a lot of fun. Alright guys, so we're gonna start over here. The first thing I like to highlight, we have these two art prints. I'm not sure if I remember the artist's name, but I know Sarah definitely would, aka PocketCuccos. But I love the way these prints look. fantastic. We have a lot of video game art in the house, which, you know, I'll put some B-roll in or something to showcase that. But going to the top, we have what I call the handheld area. So behind Meat Boy here, you'll see a purple 3DS. On the bottom of that is a PS Vita in the box. It is lime green and white from Japan. And then finally, we have the Super Mario 3D Land XL. Let me just focus that a little bit. There we go. That's a lot better. Going up top here, we have some cool stuff. So back there, that Pokemon book with the Lugia on it, that's my original childhood Pokemon card holder. So it's what I used for all my rare cards as a kid. I'm sure those aren't in there anymore, but I'm just kind of happy to have it, you know? This is like an original Ocarina of Time Zelda figure that belongs to Sarah. And then also we have this Switch controller holder, like for the Joy-Cons, and it's signed by Charles Martinet, who voices Mario. And we'll go ahead and go down. Up top, we got a random Neo Geo Pocket. Don't know why it's there, but I assume I was playing it sometime, just kind of put it there and forgot about it. Here is my DS collection. We do have one 3DS game up here though, my Senran Kagura big box. Some of the highlights, we got, you know, the Pokemon white version and black version. We got the Azuna games, Metal Slug 7, Castlevania Dawn of Sorrows is a really good game. DS has kind of gone up over the years, I've noticed, especially if you want complete box stuff. It's getting harder and harder to find. Right here we got a Donkey Kong toy from the Mario Bros. Movie. Going down, show a little bit more. Nothing too crazy, but still fun. Below that, I have a box for House of the Dead 2. This is the Japanese GunCon bundle. We never got the actual Dreamcast GunCon in the States due to the Columbine incident. Sega thought it was in poor taste to release it, so we only really got Mad Catz versions. I got a couple more big box stuff down here. The Corpse Party big box is pretty cool. Comes with like little anime figures. There's Death Mark, Persona Q2. I bought that when it came out, which I'm very happy I did because it's getting harder and harder to get a hold of. And then finally, all the way at the bottom here, we'll start to see the rest of the 3DS collection. I don't really have a big 3DS collection, to be honest with you. I was never really too big into handhelds when I got older. You know, as time went on, I started picking some things up that I was interested in. We got some good stuff. We got, you know, Kirby, Planet Roboto, another Project Diva game, Paper Mario. And then finally on the bottom, it's a little messy, but it's just storage. I got some Slayers VHS and, you know, some cases for loose cards and stuff like that. Go back up. This is the start of the Vita collection. I wish I can say this has changed since the last time you guys saw it, but really, I haven't added any new Vita games. I love the Vita. It's just it's getting to the point now where it's almost too expensive for me to collect for, or to even really track down really clean copies of Vita games. And I'm more focused on my Dreamcast set at the moment, but maybe eventually I'll come back to the Vita. At the end here is kind of just some more general overflow. And then finally down here, if you guys saw my last video, you might remember what this is, but just in case, this is my best storage solution right now for loose carts. So this first drawer, Game Boy games, Game Boy Advance games, there's cool stuff in here. There's Lunar Legend, Pokemon Pinball, and then, you know, I got, you know, Game Gear, and the bottom is more Game Boy games. Eventually, I would like a better solution for storage, but that's just the best we can do at the moment. Alright, so next I'm going to show my living room setup. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I really don't do a lot of retro gaming down here, and the main reason is that these flat screen TVs typically stretch out the pixels and it looks really bad. Most of these consoles that I have down here are just kind of for display purposes, because I don't really have enough room to hook them up upstairs, and I just think they kind of look neat. You'll see I have my old handheld display, so this is like where I put my Game Boy Colors, my Game Boy SP, my original fat Nintendo DS, look at that chonker. And then, you know, a Vita and a PSP. Up top here, you'll see a box third-party Maraca set for Samba de Amigo. And then above that, we have our Super Scope, the bazooka. Doesn't really work too well, but you know what? It did its best, and we'll give it a pat on the back for that. And that is a AV port switcher, so if I did want to hook up some more consoles, I have the ability to do so. And then we have the two current consoles I have hooked up down here that I play the most, my PS4 and my Nintendo Switch. And we got my big old Vizio TV. I don't remember what size the thing is, but it's huge. And then finally, we have a nice Sanrio Kirby up top, just a garden. Alright guys, so we're in the game room, or streaming room as I like to call it. And I just thought I'd show something that you guys normally wouldn't see on the background of our Twitch streams. So we got a little frame poster from Tales of Symphonia, as you know. Sarah, aka PocketCuccos, big Tales fan. And then going up here, I kind of just have some action figures. Some of these are signed from the voice actors, and just, you know, general nostalgia cool stuff. Alright guys, so here are the shelves that you normally see behind me on stream. So I guess we'll start up top. I know you really can't see it, but that hat up there is a original Sega CD hat they give out as a promo back at, like, you know, E3 and stuff like that, or whatever it was called back then. We got a box Neo Geo CD Pro arcade stick. Below that, we get my box Dreamcast, you know, some tchotchkes, Kirby plush, a Hello Kitty Gundam. Up top, we have my Sega Saturn Virtual Fighter long box set. And below that, we have the Sega Saturn Twin Sticks for Virtual On. I always love the artwork on that. All right, going down to the first shelf. So it's a little hard to see, so I do have a light shining. I apologize if it's still dark, but basically, if I move some of this stuff out the way, you'll see I have some boxed games. I don't have too much Nintendo box stuff, but I do have 3 N64 games that are boxed. We got Perfect Dark, Air Combat, and then I think it's Star Wars at the end. And then, you know, some Super Nintendo stuff, Illusion of Gaia, Mario All-Stars, Addams Family. Above that, we have a Diddy Kong Racing promotional VHS. They used to send these out in the mail. So if you were subscribed to Nintendo Power, you'd get this in the mail, and, you know, you get excited about the games. Next up, we have some TurboGrafx box stuff back there. Before anybody in the comments gets too excited, that Magical Chase is a repro. I can't afford the real thing. That thing's like $30,000. It's not gonna happen. Here's one of my cooler finds I've ever had. This is a Jet Force Gemini, there we go. Not for resale cartridge. So basically what this would be is, this would be a demo cartridge that they put in the kiosk. So at your local, you know, store or FuncoLand, this is what would be playing in there. It's actually the full game. I have played the full thing before. It's really cool. Next to that, I kind of have some of my favorite 64 games like Conker's Bad Fur Day and my original childhood copy of Mario 64, which means the world. You'll see a TurboGrafx 16 Express packed in there as well. And then this is a really cool item. This is a interactive multi-game demo disc. It's version 16. This came from PocketCuccos. This is part of her collection, but she graciously let me display it on my shelf because I love it so much. But basically that is the GameCube version of what would be in a kiosk. And behind that, you can't see it too well. I don't really want to move too much stuff, but that is the Nintendo Switch collection. Most of those are just cases though, as I have a separate case for just the cartridges. Going down, we have the beginning of my Sega Genesis. This is the rest of it, or what I would like to call the really good stuff, or just, you know, some of my favorite games that I enjoy playing. We got, you know, Shinobi 3 is a great game. Landstalker. Battletoads is hard, but it's fun. And then, you know, Ys. I do have some Master System behind there as well, but here's some of my better Master System games like Ys, The Vanished Omens, and Phantasy Star. This is a cool one. This is actually a custom-made game. This is a Sailor Moon beat-em-up game. It was originally only a Japan-only release, but a person by the name of Cat House Games made this version limited run, and I bought it and I love it. It's also one of my niece's favorite too. So we're gonna go ahead and go down another shelf as I get on my knees here. Ooh, this is the rest of my GameCube stuff. I got a little Mechagodzilla. Let me move him out the way. So down here you see some of my better GameCube games. So we got like Super Monkey Ball, Zelda, Pikmin, Skies of Arcadia Legends. Love Skies of Arcadia. We got Batten Kaitos, Paper Mario, Animal Crossing. A lot of really fun stuff. And it's got some little plushies on top too. That Pikachu's actually a Pokemon Center exclusive. I've always thought that was a little adorable. So we're gonna go down to the next shelf. This is basically my PS1 collection, my entire PS1 collection. Some of the highlights, I got both of the Lunar games. I got those for very cheap back in the day. I'm very lucky. I'll kind of do a little cross in front here so you guys can kind of see some of the titles. If you want to zoom in, you can always pause. Ghost in the Shell, we got Tomba, and then we got my only box Game Boy Advance game, Lunar Legend, as well as a Miku figure. So now, all the way to the bottom, here is the rest of the PS2 collection. You guys saw the overflow downstairs, so you definitely know I own more than this, but these are just some of my favorite titles that I enjoy playing. I love the Godzilla games. This is probably the most expensive game I own in my entire game collection. This was a gift from my brother. It was very surprising that he bought this for me, but yet this is a real copy of Rule of Rose. It is complete, it has the registration card, and the disc is unbelievably mint. I have played it though, not just a shelf collector. I beat it, and honestly, it's not really worth the price in my opinion. It's not a very great game, but the story is great and the music is wonderful. That is the positives I would say about this, but you know, Atlas title, very, very rare. Another one of my favorites, I'd say Klonoa 2. Wonderful game. They actually did a remaster of this on Switch. If you wanted to play this, I'd recommend getting the remaster version because you get both the first one and the second one all on one cartridge. Very fun stuff. But besides that, we got a little bit of Stubbs Plush, I think they're called. But I got a little Parappa, and then we got a Sackboy right there. And then I'll just show some stuff on the bottom right now. Yeah, I got a good variety of rhythm games, shoot 'em ups. That's an NES classic right there, but this is a great purple fantastic console. Alright guys, so we're at the top of the next shelf now. Here's my Sega sign. I'll put a little B-roll in too, but it lights up. It's really cool. That was a gift from my partner as well. It's a common theme in this, but she is amazing. I couldn't have asked for a better girlfriend. Up top here, this is actually one of the newer editions I have. This is a box for a Neo Geo Gold system, and I never thought I'd get to own one of these, but I found it on Etsy of all places. It's a real deal, has the foam in it, and it's a little beat up on some sides, but you know what? I'm just happy to have a box for my Neo Geo finally. Going down, here is the big money shelf. Big baller time. This is the Neo Geo AES collection. I have added so many games to this collection this year alone. It honestly blows my mind. I think I added a total of 9 titles, if I remember correctly, but we'll go ahead and go over here. So I got some Super Spy, Nam 1975 Riding Hero, which is the worst game in the Neo Geo. Please don't buy that. It's not worth the $100. There's Sengoku, Blues Journey, Magician's Lord's a blast. It's really, really hard, but I love that game. You can kind of see I kind of got some of the dog tag variants as well as some of the Japanese ones. If anyone wondering what this is, my friend Krusty, or aka Krastablue, also streams on Twitch. He had a charity as well, and he decided to make perlers if you donated a certain amount. So this is a perler of both me and my partner PocketCuccos. Also have a little box Neo Geo Pocket. Going down to the next shelf, this is one of my favorites personally, just to look at. These Saturn cases just never end to blow me away. They're just so gorgeous. I apologize for the glare, but we need the light, otherwise it's a little dark. I do have some Sega CD over here, some of my more expensive Sega CD stuff. We got Vey and Popful Mail. That's Hatsuo from Sakura Wars. And then here's some more Saturn titles. I got, you know, Resident Evil, Mega Man, Duke Nukem's a lot of fun. X-Men, Darius Guide in the big box for Nights in the Dreams. And then down here at the end, you'll see I kind of have some Japanese titles. So only 3 Sega Saturn Japanese games, but I got some good ones, like the game Paradise here is a lot of fun. It's a really wacky shooter, takes place in an arcade, as well as Cotton 2. If you haven't played Cotton before and you're a fan of shoot 'em ups, definitely play Cotton. It'll be worth your time, I promise. And now, my pride and joy, the thing I've been working 8 long years on. This is my Dreamcast collection. I am currently, as the recording of this video, I am 28 games away from completing this set. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but I don't really alphabetize my games. I kind of have a weird system of games that I've beaten, I kind of put in the back. And then games that I would like to get to, or games that I play the most, I keep towards the front. But I'll go ahead and give you guys a little pan. I apologize for the glare. I know it's not the easiest thing to read here, but I'll give you a quick pan. I got some real good bangers in there. Fatal Fury, Mark of the Wolves, Power Stone, Giga Wing. There's Capcom vs. SNK. This is actually pretty cool. This is a promotional lunchbox that they gave out at the Wizard Toy Biz convention for Space Channel 5. That was another thrift store find. We got a box mouse for the Dreamcast, as well as some rare VMUs. I just picked these up not too long ago, so I'm glad they can make it in the video. Here's some more games right there. We got the box for Seaman. Here's a cool one. This was one of the highlights of the year for me. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Great, great fighting game. Epitome of 2D sprites for Capcom. I love it. That was at an anime convention. And then I'll give you guys the final row right here that you guys can see. I apologize for not letting you guys see the bottom row, but it's just a lot of stuff to move. I hope you guys understand. But yeah, that's the Dreamcast collection. Hopefully, I'll make a video in the future and I'll actually go through all the games and make a list of the games I'm still missing. So going down below, this shelf's a little hard to film. Basically what you're seeing here is my Neo Geo CD, my TurboGrafx, and then my 3DO collection. It's all very small. As you guys know, these consoles weren't really the most popular, so they're kind of hard to find in my area. And most of this other stuff over here, like this is all Neo Geo Pocket games. I wish I had a better storage solution, but that's what we got right now, and it keeps it clean. And then finally, here on the bottom, this is my Sega CD collection. This is the rest of the Sega CD games. Sega CD is a really interesting console. It's bad in some aspects. The FMV really didn't age well, but it's got some amazing games hidden on it as well. Most of this stuff is basically whatever I just found when I was out and about. A lot of this first row that you see on this left-hand side were flea market finds. I pretty much was just excited to grab anything Sega CD, so even though it's like stuff like Trivial Pursuit or Jeopardy, I was just kind of happy to have it. Some of the better stuff though, we got the CD backup RAM card in the box, Sonic CD, classic, that's a must-own, Mickey Mania, and then also Road Avenger. Road Avenger I had a lot more fun with than I thought I would. Let's move Mechagodzilla out of the way. So in this corner, as you can see, this is more storage, but I got some Nintendo Powers over here. This is a sealed Banjo-Kazooie amiibo. I love Banjo-Kazooie, but my partner has one, so I felt really no need to open that. But yeah, there we go. That is what's on this bottom shelf. So I like to highlight this. This is a brand new edition. I just did a pickup video of on my Instagram, which if you guys are interested, I'll leave a link to my Instagram in the description of the video. But this is a original Dreamcast countertop standee. It is unpunched. It's never been used. It's showcasing Sonic Shuffle and as well as Skies of Arcadia. And Skies of Arcadia is one of my favorite games of all time. I actually met my partner from Skies of Arcadia, funny enough. Below that, you'll see a box Dreamcast keyboard. And then we got a little bit of some fun plush, just Fall Guys. My NES, I don't really have my NES hooked up. I know that's kind of sacrilegious to a lot of retro collectors, but I just generally don't play it that often. And then finally, one of the coolest items I think, just for the history, this is an original Nintendo toy chest that was sold back in the 80s. This belonged to my aunt. This was in her bedroom for all her life, and she graciously decided to donate it to me for my collection. It's not in the best shape, but I think the fact that it's been in my family for so long means a ton to me. You can't really see too much artwork, but I'll show you some more on the side. On the other side, if I remember correctly, is Zelda, but yeah, pretty cool.
Alright, so now I'm going to show you my shelf, starting with the glass case. So my first top one are my favorite figurines. I have Pyra and Mithra from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It's one of my all-time favorite games. John actually got me the Mithra figurine, and then I couldn't have her be alone, so I had to get Pyra. And then right below them, we have the two amiibos that just released from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Second shelf is of course dedicated to Assassin's Creed, one of my favorite series, and then my favorite game in the series is 3. So I have several of the Connor figurines, I have a bust, I have the little blind box one, I have an Ezio Nendoroid, a little bit of a glare, but the Bayek pin came as a pre-order bonus with the game. This piece right here is custom made by my friend Kat Clinkers. I'll put a link in the description to her shop. She makes amazing pieces, so please go check her work out. And then this third shelf right here is just kind of some miscellaneous figurines. In the back, we have Kasane from Scarlet Nexus. I streamed that game a few years ago. It was really fun, really great JRPG. Right next to her is Melia from Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Up in front is one of my favorite Sakura Wars girls, Gemini. Right here is the Tales of Arise Collector's Edition figurine. It came with the game. And then right here is Edelgard from Fire Emblem. The last shelf is kind of a collection of my smaller Fire Emblem figurines and a ton of Zelda stuff. Zelda and Fire Emblem are two of my favorite Nintendo series. So in the back row, we have the Figmas, we have 2 Links, and of course Lucina. Second row is some Nendoroids, so more Zelda. We have Chrom from Fire Emblem. And then over here is one of the American released figurines of Link. I got it a long time ago when I was little, and I was really obsessed with Zelda things. And then of course I have the amiibos here. It's not all of the Zelda amiibos I have, but it's kind of the rarer ones. So like the Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, Majora's Mask, and Skyward Sword were really hard to get a hold of for a while. Now they've reprinted them, of course. I like to display them because it's one of my favorite series, probably the game that got me into gaming as a whole. This shorter shelf right here is just kind of another collection. Up top are my Zelda things, mostly from Majora's Mask. That's my favorite Zelda game in the series. So I have some little figurines, I have the pre-order figurine of Skull Kid, and then some plush. Second shelf is the best Pokemon starter ever, Chikorita. And then the rest of the shelves are just kind of a collection of books. I'll get a little close to them. I have my Assassin's Creed strategy guides, some Zelda strategy guides, and a book I got from Fangamer. Dragon Age, and then just some miscellaneous items. A really cool one I have. A friend gifted this to me. It's the Toys R Us exclusive Baten Kaitos soundtrack. And then at the bottom, another kind of miscellaneous collection. I have the Baten Kaitos art book. Definitely a favorite piece of mine. Very expensive nowadays. Alright, so now we're gonna go to my shelf. I only have one shelf for now, but hopefully more soon. So up on the top, I have my collector's edition boxes. I have the Assassin's Creed 3 for Xbox 360 one, a gift from a friend who worked at GameStop. I have the Tales of Arise box up there, and I have the limited edition lithograph that came with Tales of the Abyss. So this first shelf is dedicated to my Tales of collection. I have all of the English released games, and then I have a few of the Japanese ones mixed in there as well. I have the DVD sets, the Blu-ray sets, some books. I have the Steelbook for the Chosen edition of Tales of Symphonia right there. I have a collection of figurines. If you couldn't tell, Mila is my favorite character in the series. My favorite plush of her. I have the Tokunaga. That was actually a raffle prize, so I won all of the different heads for that one. And then some clear files back there, a little difficult to see. The second shelf is dedicated to just a collection of things, so I have a few scattered PS2 and GameCube games in this corner. This is the start of my PS3 collection. Everything's alphabetized, unlike Pineapple's. My Xbox 360 collection, I actually loved my Xbox 360. I got one before the PS3 just because it was cheaper. My PS1 games, not a big collection. I didn't really get into collecting for that one. I just wanted the Final Fantasy games. I have the 2 NES Zelda games in here. I actually have a collection of Sakura Wars games for the Sega Saturn. Down here I have some plush. The Arino Hello Kitty was from John. I have Vmon, my favorite Digimon, and then just some extra stuff. My GameCube games are back here. Almost all of these are from my childhood collection, so I played most of these as a kid, and I loved the GameCube. Next is my PS2 collection, quite a few of these, most of them again from when I was a kid. I loved my PS2, it introduced me to JRPGs. Alright, my third shelf here is for my PS4 games. I have a lot of little plush and stuff in here that are all PlayStation related. One of my favorite items is my limited release of Stray. That was probably my favorite game that came out in 2022. This shelf right here, as you can see, is dedicated to my very limited Wii, Wii U, and some random PC games collections. I do have a good amount of Banjo-Kazooie things here. It was my first N64 game that I got as a kid was Banjo-Tooie. So I've collected a lot of plush and figurines over the years. The Mumbo there is actually a gift from Piney. He got that for me. It's from the original release of the game, so it's pretty old but in wonderful condition. Mumbo was my favorite character. Bottom shelf isn't anything special, it's just a collection of books, figurines, and plush I couldn't fit anywhere else. You can't really see in there, and that's okay because I love looking at my plush.
Alright guys, so now the time to show my streaming setup. The side that you guys usually don't get to see, because you're staring at my face in the background. But up here is how I've been playing my games. This is my Magnavox 32-inch TV. It does the job. It's an old TV, I've had it for a long time, but if it will focus. Thank you. Oh, there we go. That's a TV. You know what a TV is. Anyways, we got these little shelves up here. I got some Pokemon plush. And then on the wall here, I got some figures and a Mikunopolis poster. Here is my desk. I wish I could say it's changed since the last time you guys have saw it, but not really. I still have the same monitor set up, same keyboard. I do have some fun things on the desk though that are kind of cute. If you didn't notice, I'm a big fan of Miku, so I got a little Miku figure. That Hamtaro and Penguin actually belongs to Sarah. but I love them, so I put them on my desk. That's a really tiny Mechagodzilla right there. You probably can't see him, but that's okay. And then there's my little pineapple. And then I got these coasters all over my house, but it was my favorite game of all time, Mario 64. All right, and then, because I'm an idiot, I forgot to show my PC tower. Here's my PC tower. It's not the best, but it gets the job done. I got some stickers on the side too, some random stuff, but yeah.
And here is my desk. The desk itself was made for me by my grandfather, so it's one of a kind, very special to me. Also very hard to get up to the second story of an apartment, as we have found out. I have my little setup over here. My desk is the only one big enough to fit the game system, so we have a little collection here of the Switch, the PS4, controllers, my mic. I love having lots of little things all over my desk. I love showing off all my stuff, whether it's junk or not. Some plushes, some more figurines, Ezio doing God's work and holding up my controller for me. A corkboard that is absolutely full of things. Up above, I have a shelf with my Bravely Default figures and a Wiimote collection. It's Agnes and Adia from Bravely Default. Great game, very repetitive at the end. Right here is a special figurine I got when I went to a Giants game. So Ubisoft has a headquarters in San Francisco, so we actually went to a gamer night and they were giving out these special Giants Creed, Assassin's Creed figurines. So we have Arno in there with the Giants colors, a bat, and a hat. Above it, I have a lithograph from Assassin's Creed 4. And then just some signed prints. I went to an anime convention in Sacramento, and I was able to get these prints signed by a few of the voice actors. Very exciting for me since I'm a huge fan of Assassin's Creed, and especially 3.
Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and go to the final wall. I'll start off with the art that's on the wall. So that, there's a Super Mario 64 box. That's actually from Club Nintendo, I believe. It had a Mario 64 t-shirt in it, but it's my favorite game, so we put it on the wall. Up here we have some Pokemon prints. I know it's probably hard to see, but I'll try to zoom in a little bit for you guys. This first print's Gen 1, the second print's Gen 2, and this last print is Gen 5. Those are Sarah's favorite gens, but they're pretty cool artwork. I like them a lot. Let me just zoom back out here. On top of my CRT, I kind of have my little, what I call, plushie mountain. This is like a King Ghidorah plush. This is a Kirby plush that I won from round 1. And then this is Darkness from Konosuba, which is an anime I like. We'll go ahead and show the TV. So this is my Sony Trinitron, my pride and joy. The picture on this thing is absolutely spectacular, and it's loud as hell. So I had to keep it on really low volume not to make my neighbor mad. But yeah, this is what I play all of my retro games on. So let's go ahead and start looking at some of the consoles. I'll go to this corner first. It's a little hard to see back here. But back here tucked away, I have a Samba de Amigo maraca set. Right here is my Genesis Model 2 with my Sega CD Model 2. That cube right there is a bundle of fire hazard wires. Don't worry about it. It's storage. I got nothing I can do. There's too many consoles in here. Surely you understand. Going down, we have my GameCube. It has a Game Boy player attached with my Spice Orange controller on top. Next cube, this is my Sega Saturn. I know there's a bunch of controllers on it, but there you go. Saturn Model 2. I have an action replay on it, so I can play some Japanese games. We have my Pikachu N64. This is a really cool console. I got Pokemon Puzzle League in there right now. The best part about this console is you turn it on and the cheeks light up. Here, I'll show you real quick. See? Cheeks light up. Pretty cool. Going on to the next cube. This is a Neo Geo CD. My first Neo Geo console. Pretty cool. It's the old top loader one. And if you guys didn't know, best part about Neo Geo is the clicky thumbstick. Here, ready? Just pure bliss. Going down, here is my main Dreamcast that I play on. This is the Sega Sports Dreamcast. I currently have my arcade stick out because I was playing some Tech Romancer earlier. We got a yellow controller and a Sega Sports controller. And now, the Rolls Royce of game consoles itself. Here is my Neo Geo AES console. You guys have heard the story many times, but for anybody new here, This was an estate sale find for me. I paid $100. I watched a guy dig it out of a shed in his backyard. Still can't believe it happened. We currently got the game Sengoku in there at the moment. And then finally down below, we have my white PS2 Slim. Oh, almost forgot, silly me. One more console. Here's the final console. This is a Panasonic 3DO. I promise it's not a VHS player, even though it looks like one. But, you know, 3DO, really weird system made by EA. And then we just got some Sonic and Tails plush on top. Behind that is a NES Nintendo holder. I'll insert some B-roll in here so you guys can see what's inside. But I got some of my more rarer NES games. And then finally, another 8-port switcher, so I can control what console plays on what. Alright guys, so that's going to be it today for the game room tour. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I had a lot of fun. What about you, honey?
I love showing my stuff off.
Yeah, who doesn't love showing off nerdy stuff? Come on, I know why we're here. But I would just like to thank everybody who donated to the National Children's Alliance. It really means a lot that we got to help some kids out. Another thing, I apologize the video took so long to put out, but I really do hope you guys enjoyed having a more finer look at the collection and the stuff that you guys generally don't get to see too often from Twitch itself. Hopefully I'll be making some more content in the future, so look forward to that. Me and Sarah have a lot of plans of game hunting and also showcasing some consoles and discussing its history. But until next time, we'll catch you later.
Bye.
Bye.